Hi there, Colleen Adrian, parenting coach, somatic therapist. Sometimes when I'm working with parents, they want to know, they see an abrupt change in their teen and they want to know, like, where has that know-it-all attitude come from? I had this kid that was really well behaved and spoke respectfully, and now suddenly it's, sarcastic or it's know-it-all, or maybe it's irritated or, some kind of sass, basically, right? And I think there's a few things that can be going on. Or there's a few possible things that could be going on. So sometimes, first of all, I think that they just aren't even aware of the tone of their voice, right? So maybe they've been thinking about something in their head, or maybe they're a little bit agitated because of something that's going on in their life. And then they say something to you or they speak to you in a tone, and they don't even really realize what their tone sounded like, right? Because again, they've got their own stuff going on in their mind. Maybe they're thinking about a situation with friends or peers, or a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or they're stressed about an exam or whatever, right? So they just don't realize. And I know that there was plenty of times in my son's teen years when, I'd ask him a question and he'd respond to me in kind of a snarky tone, and I'd say, "So, like, are you irritated about something, or are you annoyed with me? Have I done something?" And as soon as I asked the question in a calm voice, like I'd see his whole body language shift. His shoulders might drop down and be like, "Oh no," right? So he just didn't realize how he was coming across. He had his own little thing going on in his mind, or maybe he was playing a video game previously, and his nervous system had gotten a little bit activated and ramped up. So that's one thing. With regard to the know-it-all stuff, I think that it is an age where they really, whether it's in school or other places, they're having new awarenesses. The world is opening up to them. Their ability to think abstractly is developing. So they're starting to kind of think about things in the world and have new ideas and new awarenesses. And um, they can sometimes come across as, sounding like they know it all, even though, we can see as parents who are older that they still don't have a broad enough spectrum of experience to really put what they've learned into perspective. And I believe it's really important to protect their self-esteem and their self-worth when those moments happen by asking curious questions rather than, setting out to prove them wrong or to kind of put them in their place, right? So we can do that by getting curious about where they learned what they're sharing with us and how they know it to be true. And again, not in a way that puts them on the spot, but just in a genuinely curious way to explore what they're thinking about and what's important to them and how they're making sense of the world and the things that they're learning. So it really can be an opportunity to help them develop their critical thinking skills and to have some deeper level conversations with them and understand a little bit about their perspective and what they're thinking by responding to them respectfully. I think there's also times when kids and teens feel powerless, and sometimes that will kind of bring up a tone of voice that sounds like attitude. And last but not least, let's face it, there's plenty of places, whether it's at school or other places in the world, where our kids have lots of encounters and see lots of role modeling examples of people not speaking respectfully, right? So there's just lots of places for them to learn ways to communicate that are less than compassionate and less than respectful. So I think that if we just kind of keep taking the high road at home with our kids and speaking with them respectfully, asking open-ended questions, just keep finding ways to regulate ourselves and to not get triggered by them as best that we can. I mean, everybody loses it sometimes, but figuring out as best we can how we can stay regulated and keep showing up with a loving tone of voice and curiosity. Even though that's hard on some days, I think that that's your best way to stay connected, and also to support them to keep coming back into a more regulated state where they learn to speak and respond in a respectful way as well, right? Role modeling and extending to them what we want them to learn from us. So I hope that's helpful. I know it's hard on some days. I really, raising a teenager, raising children is a lot of work. It can be hard some days. So yeah, stay the course. You're doing a good job. Thanks for listening.